Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Lobster Coco? I looked really quickly and I thought your name was Lobster Taco, and I'm like, I'd eat a lobster taco. I just had a shrimp taco the other day. What's up, Pask? So I am here playing with via Mister. I have the HDMI out going into the capture card, and then I have S-Video out using the Retro Castle case. I should probably update the description with that. Going into just a really nice consumer CRT, the same one that Steve from RetroTech did the reju for me when we were at the expo. Let me just add that link while we're waiting for a few people to show up. Excuse me. Alright. Do Metroids poop? That's funny. Yeah, that's probably some of the stuff that Samus is running over. What's up, Philip? It wasn't me who's farted. You mean looks like her plane. Samus is a badass female intergalactic bounty hunter. Alright, let's just start us out and see what we got. How's the stream looking and sounding for everybody? Is the audio and video balanced? Stream's looking pretty crispy from here. Just double check, I haven't used this Mister in a while. It should be... There we go. That's the best way to play. 1080p 5x. That's what I'm talking about. That's for Ian. That's for everybody else. Hey, what's up, Belmont? Pask, yeah, so SCART to 6RCA is absolutely something that you would need for a, just like one of those custom situations. Like I always talk about, you know, there's always those weird use cases where it's like less than 1% of people who use SCART would use it, but the people who do need it usually go nuts. They're like, oh shit, that's exactly what I needed. So, you know. This TV that I'm playing on is a Panasonic 20-inch, and it's both awesome, but very much a consumer CRT. Like if I don't have too much time to stream today, otherwise I would probably pause, program my universal remote to the Panasonic remote, and see if I could mess with the menu to get it a little bit better. But since you can't see any of that, and since I don't want to do what I always do and waste time tinkering instead of gaming, I'm just gonna move along. Okay, I'm just checking. Infidelity usually programs in some different stuff onto these games, so I'm just checking for myself to see what we got. So here's one thing that stays the same, and this might not be able to be fixed, but if we watch how it scrolls left to right, it's fairly smooth. There's a little bit of stutter, you know, every couple of seconds, but that's how it is in the original. I think that's... But watch the ground and watch the rocks on top when I jump and scroll. See how it's like jerky versus smooth? I'm wondering if that's something that could be fixed. Yeah, I would love to see the Metroid construction team do something like hack the map into it, especially if it's one of those maps where it'll tell you what room you've been in. I think that alone would be one of the biggest game changers, and also save game support and stuff like that. I think those are all pretty big deals. Sorry, I've been sick forever. I just can't shake this cold. I'm eating healthier, taking vitamins, all that stuff, so I don't know. I think I just get bad luck. Or my immune system's shot and I'll be dead by 50, but you know what? At least I got to play on a D32 before I died. JB, if you want to look in the description, let me double check that I remembered to add it. I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but yeah, so it says, if you're wondering why something like this is so important, please check out the post, which also links to a weekly roundup where I discuss it. I'm not talking down to anybody who asks this question, and I'm not being disrespectful. To everybody else in the chat that's already heard me explain it 1,000 times, I think I just want to save them from being bored of my stupid voice. So if anybody's curious why these are really important, definitely check that out. What's up, Ariel? What's up, Analog? Yeah, Pask, I smoked in high school and then quit and then started smoking when I started going to bars. And then when they banned smoking in bars, yes, that's how old I am. That's when I quit smoking again and I never went back. And the minuscule amount of weed I smoke a couple times a week is definitely not ever going to affect me. It's like little baby-sized things just for inflammation for my back and because it's nice. It's funny, when I was a kid partying all the time... Uh-oh. When I was a kid partying all the time, the thought of, like, smoking and not getting high enough was the worst thing that could have happened. And now it's the opposite. Now if I smoke and I barely feel anything, if anything at all, it's like, alright, cool. Still got the anti-inflammatory part of it without worrying about getting too messed up. $40 a day. Oh, jeez. You know what's like ironic funny, not actually funny, is that caffeine is actually more addictive than nicotine, but you never really hear about that. And the stigma around it is so weird to me. Like, you can go into a job interview and you could say something like, oh yeah, I noticed there's a neat coffee shop across the street. That's cool. You know, if I get the job, I have a neat place to go because I just can't function without my coffee. Like, 9 times out of 10, the person you're interviewing with will be like, oh, me too. So it's completely acceptable to talk about your chemical addiction to caffeine in a job interview. But if I was ever like, yeah, you know, I smoke weed 3 or 4 times a week, just tiny little amounts to help my back and calm me down, and it's really great. You know, it's better than sleeping pills. I wake up without any kind of burntness or anything. And, you know, if I smoke too much on the weekends, whatever, you know, I get a little burnt, but I'm better by Monday. If I ever said that, I wouldn't get the job. Yeah, it's far less addictive, if you don't smoke too much, far less dangerous. But it's totally okay to be chemically addicted to coffee. So weird to me how things work like that. It's all in our brains programming and what we've been taught to that is good or bad. Have I ever streamed retro gameplay on Twitch? So that's a really good question. I started doing the thing where you stream on Twitch and then you edit them and put them up on YouTube for people that want to watch it later on. Except I would get far less people joining on Twitch, and and I rarely have time to actually edit these. I wish I did. I bet you I'd get, you know, instead of $1 a live stream in revenue, I bet you I'd get, you know, worthwhile money, but I just don't have time. And time is the one thing I have the least of these days, so I have to just pick and choose what I get to do. I often thought about getting like a, because I'm a registered business, so I could legally get a college intern and write recommendations, but it would be kind of hard because then you have to spend time managing somebody. So, you know, I'm not really sure if that would ever work for me. If anything, it would certainly work for the live stream edits, because that's a skill that an intern could use anywhere, really. Doesn't even matter if it's gaming or, you know, or not. It's just editing live streams. They can get hired anywhere for that. So maybe it's something I should revisit. Especially streams. I don't mean to sound... people get really upset whenever I talk about money, but like, it is what it is, right? You know, you can't live without it. And if I do a live stream with an affiliate link in it, it would absolutely be in my best interest to cut that 2.5 hour live stream down to a less than 10-minute video, and just say, like, you know, hey, check out this thing. I tested it live. Here's the full stream if you want proof, but you know, it's a good product. Like, that would absolutely be in my best interest. I just, no time. And the only time I get to even play games these days is when I'm lucky enough to do these absolutely awesome live streams. So, been waiting for Twitch to support AV1. Yeah, I need a video card that supports it. I'm chemically blackmailed to keep drinking coffee by crippling withdrawal migraines. Yeah. So when I got really sick a couple weeks ago, that's when I quit coffee again. And I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if I got such a blistering headache because of caffeine withdrawal, or if because I was dehydrated because of the what I think might have been norovirus. Where you know, not to be gross, everybody, but you basically just shit liquid for days. So it's, you know, if this were the 1700s, I'd have died from that before Pedialyte. So yeah, it's you know, it's, I don't know if it was the dehydration, the lack of caffeine, or both, but it really scared me. I'm not I don't like to be addicted to anything. So yeah, I'm not gonna be drinking caffeine daily anymore. Aw, look at super chat from Ian. Ian, you're the man, buddy. Here, this one's for you. We gotta, in honor of Ian, we gotta spend a couple minutes going wide. Yeah. You know what, the joke's on you, Ian, because I'm playing on a CRT that's still in the original resolution and aspect ratio. So the stream sees it wide, and I still get to see a nice thin Samus. So I'll do the cheesy power up here so I don't dive 5 feet into it like I did. Ian, I liked your last video too, about that anime movie that you watched. It seemed like perfectly terrible. It seemed like one of the things I would have loved in high school. So I'm almost afraid to watch it because, like, I almost want to remember it the way you presented it in your video. You know, I don't want to watch it and go, oh man, that really did suck. Like, I want to just watch that and go, oh, that was cool. Like Monster Squad. Anybody ever remember that movie? Any other old people in the chat? Like, I loved that movie so much when I was a kid, that to the point that, like, I don't want to watch it. Like, because, you know, what are the chances of it being a Goonies, a movie that you could still watch, you know, 30 years later and is good? Probably not that much. I'd love to be wrong, though. Alright, let me put this back so I don't drive everybody else crazy. But thank you again for the super chat, Ian. That is always really nice of you. Alright. Oh, let me, shit. I'm getting killed here. Let me, I was checking the chat. Penguins does that, streams every night, and then chops up the funny part into 10-minute videos. That's pretty cool. Monster Squad still holds up? Oh, I might have to watch it then. I mean, I'm sure it's cheesy, but, like, that's the kind of 80s cheese that I want. Like, oh, man, what's the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? Oh, God. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it. I just watched it, like a month ago. With the jacked Chinese dude that's in all the 80s movies, that they badly overdub his voice. You are next. That's my favorite part. It's so badly dubbed. I can't believe Bloodsport. Bloodsport. What an idiot. I can't believe I forgot that one. Ah, good. The chat chimed in right in time. Okay. Well, at least I got it right before the chat, so I don't feel that stupid. How the hell could I mess that up? Bloodsport. What a good, terrible movie. You know, apparently the guy that's based off of lied about a lot of the stuff that he did. That the Bloodsport stuff didn't exactly happen that way. I don't know if any of that's true or not. Okay, so here's something that's absolutely worth pointing out. So I'm hitting select, that activates a missile. And I'm hitting select again, and it disables it. So you can see the front of Samus change color. However, hold right trigger, let go of right trigger. Hold right trigger, let go of right trigger. So Infidelity programmed that in. What an absolute bonus right there. Pask, that whole movie was a lie. I think so too, but you know, I completely have the ability to detach with stuff like that. Like, some people could watch The Avengers and be okay, but if they watch a movie that's quote-unquote based on real life that actually isn't, they get really mad. And my approach is, I don't think Thanos is actually coming to destroy everybody in the universe, but I still enjoy the movie, so why can't I separate it for the non-fiction fiction stuff too? There's some conspiracy theories like that I love. Like, Project Serpo is by far my favorite. It is just such a cool science fiction story, and the real ending is just so much better than fiction. I gotta drop that one in the chat, actually, for anybody that... This is just... It's too good not to share. For anybody that is even slightly close to into aliens, this is absolutely my favorite. Alright, what was it? And then... Yeah, this is it. I'm going to drop this in the chat. There's 2.7 million views, so I'm sure people have, at least somebody in the chat's already seen it, but... Alright, here we go. Bloodsport did inspire Mortal Kombat, so yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. Yeah, Mark, that's exactly the one. And when that document was quote-unquote leaked in the early 2000s, I was actually at a job site, and a buddy of mine in a partner company was born and raised in Russia, and then he eventually moved to the U.S., served in the U.S. military, so he had like a very a varied view on life and you know, and stuff, and we were kind of discussing that, and he had coincidentally read it as well, and I was talking about like, yeah, it's kind of funny, you know, the aliens just have some kind of exchange system. They don't even use money. They'll just show up and get their food. And he's like, communism! That's communism! The aliens perfected communism! Holy crap! We were laughing so hard. And then years later, when that video came out, when I saw the real ending, which I will not spoil, it is worth that 30-minute video, no doubt, I was blown away. I was like, holy crap. I would, you know, I kind of suspected something like that, but I would have never guessed that was, you know, something that was basically proven. Yeah, Wayne, this is the beta that just came out a few hours ago. The developer sends me them in real time, which is very, very, very nice of him. I do subscribe on Patreon. However, I mute everybody's Patreon. And I mean, no disrespect. If I didn't, I would have 50 emails a day. And the other thing that always bugs me from a RetroRGB point of view, not from a personal point of view, is I'll see something cool pop up on Patreon, and I can't tell you how many times I've written a post about something from a Patreon email, like, oh, I can't wait to share this with everybody, and then right before I made the post live, I just checked, like, wait a minute, is this video they posted on Patreon public yet? So I almost shared something publicly that was still under Patreon pre-access. So I don't want to make that mistake. I don't think any of the creators I'm friends with would be really upset with me for it, because the intent was good. But I would just feel like the biggest moron in the world if I was like, "Hey everybody, check out this video," when, you know, when people were trying to do an early access thing. So that's the other reason I disable all Patreon notifications, is I just want to make sure I promote things correctly when they're supposed to be promoted. Wayne donates on Ko-fi. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if Infidelity is able to offer pre-release access on that platform. To be honest, not many people use Ko-fi for me, so I don't know much about it. I do know that when I was releasing the Q&As yesterday, wow, time flies. Yesterday when I was releasing them, Ko-fi was down. It wouldn't let me post anything, so I'm just like, well, I tried like 4 times within a couple hours, and it's like, you know what, Ko-fi? You want people to use your service? Make sure it works. Rule number 1. Yeah, Incredimike, I actually think this one is I am the most excited about. And I'm not taking away from his other work. I streamed all of them. I was a fan of everything that he did so far. That's the only way I'll play Zelda from now on. But, and Metroid, not Metroid, Mega Man 2 for that matter. But I think this one is the most exciting because of the potential. So he's already programmed in some pretty cool updates. But, you know, the Metroid construction crew, everybody that hangs out on that forum, they do amazing stuff. And I want to see what they can do to this. Imagine hitting the start button and getting a full-size map just like in Super Metroid, but with like a little more 8-bitty style graphics. Imagine saving automatically when you get to each section. And that's stuff that they've already, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's stuff that they've already done on, whatchamacallit, on the NES version. Have AM2R on the SNES, so that would be a complete rewrite of the game. So that would be possible, but you would have to decide a few things. Do you take this? Do you take Infidelity's Metroid port, and then do you port that over to this engine and just replace the graphics and map? And then how would you handle the music? Would you only do an MSU1 version, or would you try to do SNES music? Or if not, if you don't want to do either of those things, how would you handle all that then? Ah, the things were right here in front of me. I guess let me screenshot this just in case. Are screenshots working? Yes. Just checking. Alright, so it's cool that we restarted here. Should I stay here or should I go back to Brinstar? I never, or Criteria, I guess. I never really remember. And the last time I played one of these hacks, I played it with the map, so it was actually much easier. No, alright, I already went there. Gotcha. I mean, shit, I might as well just kill myself. I got 2 missiles and no lives, so, and I'm just starting back right there. This game's pretty unforgiving, huh? Yeah, I totally agree it would be cool. It's just there would be so many questions on how to do it. I mean, to do it the quote-unquote best way, you would write your own game from SNES game from scratch, but that is an insane amount of work. I couldn't imagine many people wanting to put the time in for a game that they can't sell because it's Nintendo's IP, but would be amazing if that was the case. Nope. Oh boy, I'm gonna get caught here, aren't I? Alright. I actually never played Super Mario RPG, Koi-Fish. I'm not really an RPG kind of guy. You know, no shade thrown, to each their own, but my brother loved it. He just would always rant about it and always tease me for not wanting to try it. Wayne, I actually got one. There was somebody who wanted to pick one up, and I was like, well, I want to see how good the clear one looks in person, because it looks really good in the pictures, and I don't remember if I ever tried Open FPGA. Maybe I did on that one live stream, maybe I didn't, I don't remember. So I offered to pick one up in exchange for them just paying me back and letting me use it in a live stream. Hey, thanks so much, Dan. Much appreciated. Your super chat is going to give me hope to keep trying this. All right. I'm terrible at this game, in case anybody hasn't noticed, but I enjoy it. And other than me coughing and trying not to cough into the mic, this is about promoting Infidelity Sport here, so I don't mind keeping going. Wayne, scalp him, charge him $5,000. No, absolutely not. I even offered to pay shipping back to him so I could try it for free. He threw me a couple extra bucks just to cover costs anyway, but yeah, no, it's definitely not how I roll. I even just sold a couple more monitors, and then even after I sold them, I reached out to a few extra friends like, hey, did I sell these at the right price? Because I want to get market value, but I don't want to rip anybody off. And everybody that I talked to was like, no, you sold them for less than market value again, Bob. You should really let other people do your selling for you, because you're never going to make any money this way. But whatever. Damn, I am really bad at this game. If anybody's good at this game, can you tell me if I'm even going the right way? I barely am able to play this thing without a map. Hey, Jared. Well, at least I'm doing better starting out with more lives. I think this is one of the things that did always kind of annoy me about the original Metroid, is how slow-paced you have to go to collect your lives, and you have to basically power up every time you get hit. And but I think there's a few things that could be hacked with that were already done on the NES version that could be applied to this. That would make for a pretty cool upgrade. Yeah, it's definitely smoother, and there's definitely less flicker as well. The only thing I'm still curious about is watch what happens when I jump and move forward. You see that, like, tick, 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 tick? Oh, come on, that's it. I'm dead. Son of a bitch. Oh, come on. That's what I get for looking at the chat. So, Koi-Fish, you were talking about preferring the Super Metroid that much more. There is that version that I played a couple months ago on stream that is basically it's Super Metroid with the original Metroid map, and if that's your preferred way to play, that's gonna be the best. With this, for me personally, there is a different feel. Like, that feels like Super Metroid with a Metroid map, whereas this, feels emptier, which I know is a limitation of the SNES, but it also adds to the creepiness of the game. Hey, what's up, show? I don't know if they added the save feature yet. I think Infidelity is really just working on getting the game perfect, and then getting any bugs worked out, and then adding little stuff like I'm showing here. Like, this is select button. Now you've enabled missiles. Hit select again. That's back to normal. But hold the right trigger, and missiles are enabled. So it's actually way better that way. Love to just spawn in with 99 health. Yeah, starting with 35 every time definitely is annoying. Wow, you bought a new old stock Sony? That is awesome. How much did you pay, if you don't mind us asking? If you do, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Rasmus, I did a stream of the other Metroid hacks. I did the one of the NES, what is it called? Project Nested. That conversion. And this is definitely better. But that is not an insult to Project Nested. That emulates in real time, whereas this was a painstaking hex edit of the whole thing. So this is, this is definitely gonna, it should be better, right? No shade thrown. It just, when you put that much work into it. Son of a bitch. Ah! Am I even going in the right direction? Oh, 360? That's great. No, that's a great price for new old stock. Yeah. Dan, good point, but Show, can you correct me if I'm wrong? With the FDS key, you could also, when you select the games, there is no limit to how many games like the other one is, but you could also just press the button to flip sides and everything. Am I wrong about that? Do I think Nintendo's behind the recent Xbox and PlayStation hacks? No, definitely not. It doesn't seem like their kind of thing. Mike, am I supposed to be going in that direction? I'm going to try to go back and see if I missed anything. If any real Metroid experts goes back and sees this later, they're going to just be rolling their eyes, face-bombing me, but that's fine. This absolutely feels smoother, especially when you're jumping and have to change directions or something. So what's it like to play the original Metroid? Well, you stand in the same place a lot, shooting things that jump out of a Super Mario Warp Zone pipe. Oh, okay. And it's exactly what I expected. I'd be curious to see if the game limits the amount of bullets you can fire and have on the screen at the same time. Let me try that right now. That's just me hitting the button as fast as I can. It's a farming sim, yeah, unfortunately. I've always had tremendous respect for this game, going back and seeing, you know, basically what it created. But at the same time, I also, I'm very aware of the fact that a lot of people don't think it aged well, including me to a point. But I do really have hopes, high hopes for what this thing could do for, with the modding community. I keep trying to turn my head and cover the mic when I cough. I hope it's not. I hope that's working. What controller am I using? Super Nintendo controller with the MacGyver adapter into Mister. That's those MacGyver adapters are my only, my only go-to for classic consoles, with the exception of when I need to use a light gun, and then of course you're gonna use snack, but. Always the MacGyver adapters, and for stuff that requires an analog D-pad, I go Bluetooth with the PS5 controller, and I use a Bluetooth you know, the USB Bluetooth module that was tested and combined with the PS3 controller. I think it was 6 milliseconds of latency. Look for, Mike, go to, I think it's Damon Byte is the store that Mick sells his adapters from. And if they're in stock there, that's the way to get it for the same price as everybody else and support the original creator. If not, I think other people are selling them. I could swear Laser Bear was selling them too at one point, but I gotta double check. You know, even if Laser Bear's been selling them for a while, I should do a post on RetroRGB just to let people know. That way it shows up in the Google results for people. Go left at the first door I see for the long beam. Will do. I think the reason I didn't go there first was because I needed to get missiles to get there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll figure it out. Yes. That's why I didn't go to this one first. Okay, I did remember that. Are there slim console shells without disk loaders for people that only use ODEs? No, but what console are you looking for to accomplish something like that with? Yeah, sure. I'm really curious to see how the write functionality works. And I may have a custom cable. I may have given that to Danielle, actually, but a custom cable that lets you write games for it. But I don't know. If I didn't give that to Danielle, I'll send it to you or something. I have so much weird stuff that I never, ever, ever use, but I don't want it to go to waste. I'm certainly not going to throw it out, but I just don't know who to give it to. Like, normally I'd try to just give stuff like that to Brooklyn Video Games, but I don't think they'd use it. And that's not a compliment or an insult. It's just, I don't think they would ever run into a scenario in which they would need to use it. So what exactly were the differences between the Famicom Disk System version and this? You could save without a password. The opening music is different. But is any of the other music different in the game? I didn't think so. And were there any other differences? Drooby Dooby, have I had any good drinks recently? It's been a while, but I remember mentioning a local brewery. You know, oh, am I muted or something? Yeah, I muted myself by accident. I don't know how much of that came out, so Drooby Dooby was asking if I'd had any good drinks recently. I was at a liquor store a while back, and I always ask, hey, do you have any nips of anything good? And most of the time, whenever I ask that at a liquor store, they look at me like, nips are for the fucking drunks that can't afford bigger bottles. What are you talking about? We have, like, cheap banana vodka for college kids and the stuff that drunks drink. But occasionally, they get what I mean. Occasionally, I'll go to a store that completely understands, like, I want to try different things, but I don't want to drop $30 on a bottle just to find out I don't like the thing that I just bought. So one of the good liquor stores that does do exactly that was like, yeah, we have this new stuff. Do you like Bailey's? I'm like, yeah, it's not my go-to. And it was basically like a dessert and a drink at the same time. It was so good, especially for a fatty like me. I thought it was awesome. And I ended up buying one of each. They had a bunch of different flavors, and it was absolutely delicious. I wish I had the name of it. I should do a post about it or something. Maybe they'll sponsor a week of podcast or something. Who knows? Yeah, sure. I think that's exactly what it was. Made a right cable with a SNES plug. So I think that's exactly what it was. So music and sound effects appears to be different, and any behaviors are more sophisticated, less slowdown. Wow, that's pretty neat. Huh. That is really, really cool. We need Chris from Displaced Gamers to do one of his videos on the NES versus SNES version of these games to break it down. I think that would be amazing. All the doors sound different. That's awesome. I had a couple of different FDSs for a while, and I borrowed a Twin Famicom for a bit as well, so I was able to play all of these games, and it was one of these things where I am so appreciative that I got to do that. What a cool experience that I got to play something that was only available in Japan for such a long time, and I'm never going to do it again. If I ever needed to play an FDS game, I would use the FDS key or Mister or something else, just because it's like, oh yeah, 3.5-inch floppy boot times, but for an NES game. Gotcha. Ah, Chris is here. What's up, dude? That is so funny. Every time I drop your name, you're here. One of these days, I'm going to call you something really horrible just to see if you're still in the chat. That hat-wearing twat waffle, Chris from Displaced Gamers. Alright, we already came here. That's where we have the long beam. What if we go down without going in there? What was down here? I wonder why it stutters when it falls like that. Is that the NES rewriting the map table as it's falling? Hey, Ariel. That whiskey you gave me was great. I appreciate that. Now I have some here. That, shockingly enough, though, I had probably told this story a million times, but years ago I had a bad cold, and a friend of mine was like, why don't you have a hot toddy? I was like, what the hell are you talking about? She's like, you've never had that? You take whiskey and tea, hot tea, and then you mix it with a little bit of honey. And I'm like, isn't the honey doing all the work? She's like, no, try it. And sure as shit, the next time I was sick, I had one. Just one, not a bunch. I didn't go overboard and get shit-faced or anything, and it actually really helped. Oh, that long beam makes it so much easier to kill those things. Alright, no, that's where I came from. Okay. You know what's kind of funny about this? Is I'm just lost playing the game, just trying to figure out what the differences are and, you know, test the beta and everything. But this is exactly what I would have done and did do, in fact, back in the day with this game. You have to just keep playing the same thing over and over again until you memorize all the rooms and where the map is. Whereas nowadays, you could be in a Metroidvania and only repeat the same place a couple of times. Oops. You know, how do all you enjoy your vodka? Because tequila, depending on the tequila, some of them I like mixing. Other times I'll just have it right on the rocks. Whiskey, most of the time I have it on the rocks, but sometimes I'll do a hot toddy, or I'll mix it with Beast. We're gonna make highballs because that's what you do when you hang out with Beast. And but I don't ever really drink vodka on the rocks. I always just drink it mixed with something. Am I missing something? Is there like a brand of vodka that's really good for that? I used to know a guy, a really good carpenter. It was you know, like much older than me, but one of those people who are like, he could hang out with anybody, and he asked me to do computer work for him. I think I was like 21. So I went over to his house, and he's drinking this big glass of water, and then offered me anything. I took a beer, and then like an hour goes by, and he pours himself another glass of water, until I realized he was not drinking water. He was drinking just straight vodka out the glass with no ice. Like, oh, it's gonna be one of those nights, isn't it, buddy? Okay, gotcha. Zero vodka, okay. Grey Goose, yeah, I like Goose. Vodka and Red Bull, yeah, I used to drink that, but I would always get like sour at the end of the night. Like, I'd have an awesome night hanging out with friends that I loved, and at the end of the night, I would just be like, not like start a fight angry, just like, tonight sucked, even though it totally didn't. And then I'd wake up the next morning and be like, I'd call my friends and be like, was I a douchebag last night? I'm like, no, not at all. You got grumpy towards the end and you left. I'm like, oh, so happy to hear that. So that jump stutter thing is not nearly as bad as on the NES version, but I'm still dying to know how it works. Like, this is a good spot because there's still platforms. So I'm going to just go left for a bit. So as I run, they're smooth. There's that single jerk when it realigns the scrolling motion. But then as soon as I jump in the air, it just tick, 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 tick. And it's so much better here than on the NES, but I'm still wondering what does that. Oh, come on. Don't ever fall in there. Vodka really depends on the person. Yeah, fair. Mega Man 91 said, I'm a wine person, but occasionally I do enjoy a couple shots of whiskey. And I looked over real quick, and I thought you said, I'm a white person, though I do occasionally like a couple shots of whiskey. I'm like, the Irish pretty much invented whiskey, so pretty sure you don't need to be, you don't need to be not white in order to drink it. My bad. My bad. When you jump, you're faster, huh? Yeah. Oh, I just got a, oh, that's so funny. Somebody just sent me a message that said a store on Amazon stole my picture to sell one of their shitty PlayStation cables. Anybody know how to report somebody to Amazon? And it's a PlayStation cable, but they used one of my Link examples. You know, I used to watermark all my stuff for this exact reason. And then I just, I realized it just wasn't worth it. And you get a bunch of comparison shots with a RetroRGB watermark on it, so you can't see half the things I'm trying to compare. And then, oh shit. Alright, good. And then on top of that, a lot of these people they don't set out to say, oh, I'm going to go steal from Bob. They just go do a Google image search and take whatever the first thing is. So if I tell them to do a takedown request, they're just going to do another Google image search and steal somebody else's picture. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is. And I'm guilty of it too, but I feel like I do it in a different context. There are definitely people that could rightfully argue that there is no context and I'm a thief, but like I needed a picture of the Jaguar Netlink adapter, so I just searched for one. I found it. Turns out it was a post on Atari Age, so I linked to the post as credit. But if that's not what it was, I probably would have just taken the picture. And I'm not using it to sell something or to mislead people, but I should do a better job at crediting for stuff like that. Yeah, Amazon will do nothing, but there's also, they have to comply with certain things. So if I do a DMCA takedown request or something, but those things are annoying. And I don't get anything from it. I don't lose anything from people stealing the picture. Like, nobody's going to look at that picture and go, oh, RetroRGB is misleading people. It's just, no. People either aren't going to know, or they're going to look at it and be like, these idiots are thieves. Don't buy the stupid cable. Was this eBay seller's name Voltar? No. Voltar could be a massive douche sometimes, but he's not ever, ever, ever a thief. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So many people have stolen from him. Alright, so I got the bomb. So now is where I need to go back to the original place and bomb where I could drop down, right? Isn't that the wave beam or something? I gotta cut this short in like 10-15 minutes, but I am definitely going to be continuing this. And messing around with whatever additions the developer adds. I don't know if there's a color palette change yet in this. He did that the last couple, and that was really awesome. So we'll see for there. . Yeah, Incredible Mike. You know, I love going back and forth and teasing him, but if you want to see the real Zach, if you want to see not Voltar, but who Zach really is, go to that live stream where I was testing a bunch of stuff and my Mega CD stopped working. And it was in perfect condition, and it's definitely just the gear. It's an easy thing once those gear replacements come. But, you know, he jumps in the chat, brutally making fun of me, as we do, because we're friends. And then as soon as he realized there was an actual problem, he stopped what he was doing and spent an hour on the phone with me helping me fix it. That's the real Zach. So I'm never going to stop teasing him, because life wouldn't be as fun without it. But, yeah, that's anybody who thinks he's this monster has absolutely never seen the real him. He does have his bad days, though, but so do I. So, you know, we're all human. Wow, those blue things are tough to kill. Way harder than the green ones. Wasn't there something here? Yeah. Uh-oh. Alright, good, good, good. Oh, wait. That's how I get back up. I gotta climb all the way back up this shit, huh? That's right, and I can't get anything till I have the ice beam here anyway. Oh man, this sucks. Am I missing anything here now, or is this only for when I get the ice beam later? I just died in the spot to reset. Pesadello, there might be something coming. Maybe. Potentially. Wow, well, this would be a terrible place to end the stream. What do you mean by Incredible Mike's SNES controller adapters? Do you mean SNES to USB? Yeah, I think this is unfortunately gonna have to be where I end the stream. This sucks. I thought I was doing pretty good. I mean, I wasn't doing good, but I think I was doing pretty good considering I haven't played this game, original NES version, in a while, and the last time I did, it was that stream with a bunch of Metroid experts helping me out on it. So, for basically, you know, fresh eyes, I think I'm doing not super embarrassing. Oh. Ariel, thank you so much for the super chat. That is awesome. A testament to my perseverance in the face of medical adversity. Yeah, I still am kind of sick. Well, let me kill myself to get the thing, and let's also see where I respawn too. Maybe this is something that I could keep going just for another couple of minutes at least. Let me delete the old screenshot. create the new one. Okay. Let's see where I respawn. Oh, that's kind of where I wanted to go anyway, so let's keep going for a while. Hey, what's up, Drew? Yeah, there's been no slowdown whatsoever so far. Yeah, here's where I was looking to go anyway. Has anybody lag tested the Tomies? Oh, what great music. Let me just check Greg's site real quick, because I'm curious. I thought he made that. Are they in stock? Yes, they're in stock. Hold on, let me get you all a link here. Give me 1 second. Oh man, this is gonna take a moment. Enjoy this wonderful music while I figure out how to get the proper link going here. There you go. That is the one that you're looking for, Mike. Let me double check, actually. Let me double and triple check, but I think that's the one. Allows you to use 2 Super Nintendo controllers. And this is using the MacGyver software. Open source, legally done. Yeah, that's the one. That's definitely the one you want. And there's a Genesis one too. Hold on a second. Let me get that as well. And just make sure to get it fully assembled. Otherwise, you're going to have to build the kit yourself. But I know there's a Genesis one here. That's weird. Oh, here it is. Haha. Yeah, okay. It just looked a little weirder. The main picture that Greg picked had 2 wireless adapters in it, so I couldn't figure out what that was. Okay. That's the Genesis one too. Alright, let me wander around this area for a bit. I will get a save code here the first time I die, and I'm going to have to call it after this, probably about 10 minutes. Oh, wow, that's not going to be a very long time before I die. Holy crap. Well, I guess that's that. Let me save my game here. Any questions or anything before I go? This was a very fun time as always. What a great port of this game. I mean, there's zero slowdown. It was so smooth, and I like how it's unchanged from the original. It's very hard, but I love how these games are just, here's what it would be like if Nintendo did it on a Super Nintendo, not here's my interpretation of the game. I still love those, but I think you should have both. Hey, not geek enough. The only brand I would worry about is just not the cheap ones. So Chong is a brand name of capacitors that are known to always fail. There's a bunch of bad ones, but just try to stick to any brand name that you could get, as long as they're not ridiculously expensive. If they're about the same price, then cool. But if they're within $1 of each, Nichion, Panasonic. There's a bunch of good brands, so stick with the name brands for that. I'll hang out one more second. All right, just remember to message Greg because I'm gonna get some of those adapters. Teague, I agree. Console 5 caps are the best, but they mentioned being in Argentina, so the shipping is definitely going to be more expensive than the caps. So I would look for both choices. Just picked up a 27-inch JVC and a Panasonic 27-inch, both from 2003. Well, congrats, because they're both awesome. I was about to say they probably have the same tube, and you just responded. You opened them up, and they have the same tube inside. That's funny. All right. Well, I guess that's it. You're all very awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. This was an incredible port. I can't wait to see what the Metroid construction crew does with this. So, thank you all so much. Ian, miss you, buddy. Hopefully, you get to meet up at one of these cons at some point soon. And thanks again for the super chat. And I'll see